Hello, good evening. So my name is Adam and I'm from the University of Greenwich, based in London, England. I'm here today just to introduce the university a little bit and also introduce myself. If you have any questions along the way, please do get in touch with me. You should have my email address on our sort of University of Greenwich page, but I'll also be putting it up at the end of this as well. You can also get in touch with me, ask questions like through this platform too. So yeah, always happy to help with anything that I can. I'm just going to wait one more minute until we're right on time. I think it's 5 o'clock for you guys in Canada. I'm calling in from the UK at the minute, so yeah, it's a bit later here. But I'm just going to give it half a minute more just to see if anyone else joins, and then we'll get started. Okay, it looks like we're about time to start. So yeah, I'll get started now. I just wanted to start the presentation with a little video that kind of just introduces the university. Hopefully the sound will be okay. It's not very long if it's not, but we'll give it a go.
The University of Greenwich, a community with no limits. No limits on where you come from, and no limits on what you can do next. Greenwich is a place for minds to meet, ideas to spark, and new adventures to begin. A place where our surroundings inspire us to innovate and discover. Evolving our ideas, our ambitions, and the world. Every member of our community counts and makes our impact stronger. A global network delivering solutions. 250,000 undergraduates, postgraduates, tutors, researchers, alumni, and partners. Together, there are no limits on what we can achieve.
So hopefully that video worked okay and you saw a little bit of our campuses there and got a bit of an idea about what the university is about. And I was going to take us through sort of some of the reasons that people do choose to come to Greenwich. So you can see some stats on the screen here as well. I'm not going to read them all out. But basically, the University of Greenwich is really, really proud of its 130-year history. We're providing high quality education to our students who come from many walks of life. So the kind of founding ethos of Greenwich is to believe in education without boundaries. And we try to support our students to achieve their ambitions because of their backgrounds. So we have 3 campuses, and they're across Southeast London and Kent, and they all have their own distinct personalities and community feels. And I think that what makes Greenwich so special is that we're able to match a really high quality education with a fantastic student experience as well. And that's why a lot of students do choose to come to Greenwich each year. So I'm going to talk a bit more detail about our campuses in a little bit, but I just wanted to talk about sort of another reason that a lot of students do come to Greenwich, and that is because of our London location. So this picture here shows sort of one of our campus, our Greenwich campus. It is right on the River Thames, just opposite Canary Wharf, which is our sort of financial district in London. So you're right in the heart of the city. So one of the many reasons that students decide to study at the University of Greenwich is this location, which matches sort of the big city of London with countryside attractions of the county of Kent as well. I don't need to talk too much about London, but it really is a thriving city and it has something for everyone. So if you're visiting as a tourist, we have all those big attractions. We have the London Eye, Buckingham Palace, Big Ben, all of that stuff. But there's a whole other side to London that you really only get to discover by living here. So we have like music festivals set in our parks. We have carnivals. Greenwich itself is home to the O2 Arena, which is an international concert venue that does like comedians, gigs, shows, everything you can see there. So obviously we're the capital of England, and it's really famous for all of its shops, restaurants, and nightlife options as well. Many of which are perfect for budget-conscious students. We have so many students coming to London each year that there are always cheaper options to keep things a little bit more affordable. London is obviously a great place for socialising with friends, but it is excellent for that other part of being a student, which is learning and expanding your mind. So whether it's history, science, art, design, fashion, anything that interests you, there's a ton of amazing museums and galleries to explore. And lots of these are free as well, especially for students. The other benefit of London is it's super easy to explore the rest of the UK and Europe as well. So our train system in the UK is pretty good, and you can get to all of the major cities in the United Kingdom quickly and easily. London is the centre of all of it, so you really sort of have a ton of options for getting around. We also have 5 airports in London alone, and they can take you sort of internationally, but also all over Europe. So there's plenty of different cities nearby for you to explore relatively easily. I mean, you can also get to Paris by the train as well for a day trip if you fancied it. So that's very quickly to go through London. I mean, all you have to do is Google it, and you can see everything that's on offer. It really is like a fantastic, thriving, multicultural city. So a little bit more about the university itself. So for us, it's really important that our students enjoy their studying at Greenwich and have the opportunity to excel. We are a modern university, which means that all of our courses are designed in conjunction with business and industry and use the latest research-informed curricula. We try and support and encourage our students to achieve the best possible outcomes they can and employ well-qualified expert teaching staff, and the majority of which have formal teaching qualifications. A large number of our academics have also previously worked in business or industry. So this enables us to provide up-to-date and industry-relevant courses that are accredited by sort of professional bodies around the world as well, which means that like internationally your degrees are known to be really, really strong. So we have over 300 different programs, and that's kind of split across our 4 faculties. So we have our Faculty of Education, Health and Human Science. So that'll be things like psychology and sports science, subjects like that. We have our Faculty of Liberal Arts and Sciences. So in here you find our School of Design, our School of Humanities and Social Sciences, our School of Stage and Screen, and our School of Law and Criminology as well. So we have a Law LLB course, which is really, really popular, sort of both with home students and international students as well. We also have our Faculty of Engineering and Science. So this is like traditional science subjects, engineering, but also computing and mathematical sciences. We've seen a huge increase in interest in our sort of AI courses, and that will be done through that faculty. And then our final faculty is the Greenwich Business School. So this has everything from marketing, advertisement, finance. It's a dedicated business school, which has kind of all of the different pathways that you could want to explore. Each of our 300 courses has its own dedicated page on the website, and you can go through module lists there, teaching hours, graduate outcomes, and more. So that's the one thing I really, really recommend, is to get onto the website, look at your courses, go through the modules and see the options. They are very specialized courses, but you still do have choices with most of them. They're all kind of split between compulsory and optional modules. And so the optional ones is where you really get to focus on the stuff that you are interested in and sort of want to really continue with. Just another thing to mention is, because we are a modern university, we have a real focus on employability. So I spoke about this a little bit earlier, but yeah, we have our dedicated employability to careers service. So they're there to help you assess where your skills lie and how to gain employment, volunteering, and placements. We have job opportunities within the university, but we also have sort of careers fairs where they'll be coming in sort of twice a term to do, I suppose, workshops with students. But also all of our courses have internship, placement, and sandwich year opportunities. So sandwich year opportunities is basically where, instead of doing a 3-year course, which is typical in the United Kingdom, you make it a 4-year course. In your first and second year, you'd be studying at Greenwich. And then in your third year, you would go out into the world of work, find a placement. That could be in the UK, it could be in London, could be abroad. And then you would come back in your final year to complete your studies. It's entirely optional, but it can be really, really popular with students who want to be sort of ready for work once they graduate and have all that necessary experience already. It's just a great opportunity to do some networking, build your CV a bit, and get some great sort of employability skills. So that's something that we offer with all our courses. You also have opportunities to study abroad as well, if that is something that you'd be interested in too. We have partnerships all across the world. I think because of our London location, and we are just so close to the city centre, we have great partnerships with industry, but also links to other universities as well. So it's normally very easy, and we can help find you some fantastic placements. You're also allowed to find your own placements too, of course. The other thing about Greenwich, it's based in London. It really is an international student community. So we have 37,000 students from over 150 different countries. You get a proper global experience when you come to Greenwich. And I think that's one of the things that we're really, really proud of, is how diverse our campus is. So I'm going to show you a bit more of our campus and facilities now, because that's kind of one of the most important things when you're looking. It's just try and work out if you will be happy somewhere. So since 2013, we've invested more than £150 million into our laboratories, teaching spaces, and student facilities across all 3 of our campuses, including new student hubs in Medway and in Greenwich. So I'm just going to take you through them one by one. So our Greenwich campus is kind of our main campus. It's a riverside Greenwich campus surrounded by the greenery of Greenwich Park and located about 15 minutes away from central London on the tube. So it sits on a World Heritage Site, and it's located in Greenwich itself, which is kind of its own village within London. When you go on sort of tourism websites, it's kind of recognised as a destination in its own right, because there's so much history there. It's birthplace of some of our kings, but it also is pretty recognisable from a ton of Hollywood blockbusters. So we've been in things like The Avengers, been in James Bond, Les Mis. I think there was a Pirates of the Caribbean was filmed there as well. So there is quite a striking and sort of really, really beautiful buildings. We've put a lot of investment into our Stockwell Street building, which is sort of located on campus as well. This is so that we can balance this really historic, beautiful, stunning environment with the right technology that you need to get the best education in this day and age. So the sort of the blend of the old and new, I think, gives a really unique student experience. Obviously, it's also right on the river, which just means in the summer it's a really beautiful place to be, and you can get the Uber boat down to central London as well, which is pretty cool. So it's close proximity to central London by bus, train, or boat. This is where our Faculty of Liberal Arts and Sciences, Business School, and School of Design are. And so a lot of the student activity does take place on the Greenwich campus. Our next one is our Avery Hill campus. So Avery Hill is also surrounded by a ton of green spaces and is located in Eltham, which is also in South East London. It is a purpose-built student campus, which means it has top-of-the-range teaching and sporting facilities, as well as a ton of student accommodation as well. it's really, really accessible. So it's about 15-minute drive away from the Greenwich campus, and we have a shuttle bus that goes every half an hour. And as I say, it's purpose built with a student village, so it is sort of a real student hub. I think what's great about the Avery Hill campus is that you get a really authentic university campus lifestyle. And if maybe you do want a break from the sort of hustle and bustle of central London, this can be a bit of a calmer, more relaxing place to come back to. It's also the location of most of our sports facilities. So we do have gyms in all of our campuses, but here's where you'll find the 3G pitches, the football pitches, rugby pitches, etc. So that's kind of the best thing about the Avery Hill campus. It's the home to the Faculty of Education, Health and Human Sciences. And yeah, so if you're studying any of those subjects, you would be based on the Avery Hill campus. And then our final campus is our Medway campus. So it's a really forward-thinking campus in a historic setting, and it's located in Kent. So this is about 40 minutes from the Greenwich campus. Where you choose to study is really, really important, and we're really proud of our Medway campus. It's got really striking sort of red brick buildings, so once again you get in that historical environment, but it is sort of a specialist engineering campus. So this is the home of the engineering and science faculty, and the campus is shared with 2 other universities in Kent as well. The benefit of that is that you are surrounded by a really buzzing student body, and there's great sort of networking between the universities as well when you do start thinking about careers. It's had a lot of investment in its facilities, both social and academic, and has now like a piazza style area with outdoor seating, which is amazing in the summer. And also it's where sort of tennis courts, loads of green spaces, other gyms are as well. It's a very supportive environment, and there's loads of help there for helping to secure sort of graduate jobs in London, South East, but also further afield as well. So that's sort of the great thing about Medway. I also wanted to touch upon accommodation, because I think when you think about sort of studying in the UK, studying in London in particular, there can be sort of some fears or anxieties about accommodation. We have a lot of accommodation available at all 3 of our campuses. I think the benefit of having these extra campuses is that we are able to have a bit more space and we can house more of our students. So we have up to 2,400 places, and priority is given to first-year students. All of our accommodation is within walking distance of the main buildings of each campus. You're never going to be walking more than 10 minutes to get to campus, and I think that is a sort of pretty unique thing to be able to have in London. Rooms are quite affordable. The most expensive ones will be on the Greenwich campus because you're paying for that sort of central London location. But if you are sort of hoping to do things a little bit cheaper, then looking at the Avery Hill accommodation, there are options there to make it a lot cheaper. So it ranges from about £500 to £800 a month. There are options for sort of single bed, double bed, sharing a room, sharing a bathroom. So if you just go onto the website and look at all of the different accommodations we've got, there's loads and loads of information there. There's lots of different installment plans as well for payment, so you don't need to stress too much about it. I think what's great about having accommodation on campus is that it gives you that traditional campus-based experience where you're sort of living with your peers, studying with your peers. Makes it a very social environment, very fun, lively environment. So if that's something that you're looking for, then and to get that in London, it can be quite rare. Also, all of our accommodations have their own gyms, cafes, shops, and laundrettes as well. So it's sort of super easy to live your life there. We also have 24-hour security, which, you know, is always a good thing to have, just in case you are at all nervous. The free buses, as I mentioned, and there is residential support available as well. So they're always on call for advice or welfare. If you're struggling in your housing situation, there's a team there to help sort of make things the best they can be for you. So sort of on that, I'll speak a bit more about the student support that we have, and we have a range of it. I think this is something that we do in the UK and at Greenwich really, really well, is we really take care of our students. So there is academic support, so every student will be assigned a personal tutor to help you with your academic studies. But there's a lot of other support as well. So there'll be sort of writing help, or if you're struggling with essays, then there's sort of a dedicated team that you can just take your work to, and they'll help you out. They also do mentoring, to offer a variety of schemes, including one-to-ones, group sessions, and e-mentoring as well. We have, as I've sort of already mentioned, careers employability services. So we have our careers fairs and also student ambassador roles, which can be a great way to get some experience too. They do CV checks, interview tips, and individual one-to-one careers advice as well. We've got our health, wellbeing, and disability support too. So this is a really highly trained team, and they offer loads of guidance, support, and information for students with sort of any specific needs. We have the International Student Advice Service team as well, providing free and confidential advice to applicants, students, and graduates of the university for any support you need with visa or any sort of issues that are coming up from there. And we've got our own, again, as I say, accommodation team. If you are renting privately, they'll also help you out with that. So we won't recommend anywhere for you to go, but if you are having any problems, there's a team there to make sure that you are doing fine. So a bit of a boring bit now, but just to sort of go through some of the undergraduate entry requirements. I won't talk through all of them, but this is kind of what we'd be looking for. So as a obviously English majority speaking country, normally nationals of Canada are exempt from any sort of English language tests. Just for any students from Quebec, we need to see like a minimum score of 3.0 in their diploma. But other than that, these would be the requirements for undergraduates. It's kind of, I think, an accessible university to get to. We really sort of want to get students from all over the world. So yeah, these are the kind of entry requirements to fit. And then just very quickly on postgraduate ones, if there are any postgraduate students about, and this is a kind of thing we'd be looking for there. But the best thing you can do is go onto the Canada webpage of the website and just double check there, or also on every single course that we have. And I spoke about those course pages earlier. You'll be able to find the Canadian requirements too. So just double checking there that you're completely covered is one of the best things you can do. So now, like the fees, so we'll be looking for undergrad about £17,100 a year, for postgraduate £17,450 to £21,000. Unfortunately, university in the UK and in London is expensive, but I think this is one of the more reasonable ones. We also have our International Scholarship Award. So there's over £100 million available in scholarships and bursaries. We know how expensive university can be for international students, so we do try and help out as much as we can. So as I mentioned at the start, I work specifically with like the students from the Americas, from Canada, North America, USA, Latin America, and what I found is that students from Canada and the US tend to not apply for these scholarships because they think that it's all sort of to do with your financial situation. But a lot of it is merit-based. You just have to do a short application and explanation as to why you deserve the award. And I really, really recommend sort of making the time to do that. So as soon as you receive an offer, if you do apply, then you can apply for the award as well. So yeah, my main piece of advice is to please apply. So you'll have a lot of support today about how to apply. So I won't spend too much time talking about this. But basically, you can sort of apply directly with the university. You can apply for a UCAS, which is a centralized system for all universities and colleges in the United Kingdom, or you can apply with the help of an in-country representative. Basically, once you apply, you'll have an offer given to you. So this will be either conditional or unconditional. So if it's a conditional offer, it might be because you've not yet met some of the grades that you need, you've not had those results yet, or you just need to do maybe an English language test, something like that. And that's why you'd be getting a conditional offer. If you've already got all of your grades, and then you'll be given an unconditional offer, and it'll just say, yeah, cool, we've looked at your application, it's really, really strong, you've got the grades, so you're welcome to come. Once you have either met the conditions of your offer or got your unconditional offer, it's then time to pay your deposit, accept your offer, and then you enter the CAS process. This will be a long way off for the time being, but sort of just a piece of advice is to make sure you get started with that as soon as possible. So unfortunately, it's the UK government who'll be issuing your visa, and you need a number called a CAS number to get one. The UK government are kind of notoriously not very good at being the quickest, so I just always recommend getting this process started as soon as possible. At Greenwich, we do our best to get your CAS number out as quickly as we can, so just engage with that as quickly as you can, and then hopefully it'll be a seamless journey to come into Greenwich. So just a little bit more to talk about. Obviously, it's not all about studying at university. Making new friends, joining societies, playing sports, and having a social life is all a massive part of the university experience. It's something that we're really passionate about, and it's why we have won so many of those awards I put up earlier about the student experience in London. So the Students' Union is our sort of democratic organisation run by students for students, and pretty much all of the students at Greenwich are members. The point of them is to represent student views to university at all levels and provide support to students as well. They host a load of events every week and have physical presences on all 3 of our campuses. So it's also through the Students' Union that you will join any clubs or societies and access sort of specific support. They do loads of events all of the time, and it's a great thing to be a part of. So we also have our student ambassador scheme. So this is a scheme that gives you the opportunity to join a team of highly valued students acting as the university's most powerful brand advocates, really. It's a great way of getting a variety of paid work, specialist training, and volunteering opportunities as well. So getting involved as a student ambassador really supports university, but it also helps you to make new friends, meet people from different faculties, gain a load of employability skills and experience, and enjoy flexible part-time paid employment that fits around your studies because you're working for the university. So we know that what's the most important stuff, but also can help sort of with the socialising aspect as well, as you get a little bit more money to play around with. So yeah, as I mentioned, loads of social events happen across the Students' Union. So event organisers are really, really approachable and want everyone to get involved. And most of the activities that go on at university are student-led. It's very easy to find where you belong at the Greenwich Students' Union because there are a ton of different clubs and societies for you to join and meet your peers that are sharing common interests. Just this week, they've been doing craft afternoons. They've been doing recreational sports like tennis, dodgeball. I think there was jiu-jitsu on yesterday as well. They do games nights, film nights, and they also are in charge of running the kind of bars and nightclubs on campus. So they have what they call Wavy Wednesdays, which turns one of the bars into a club on a Wednesday night and on a Saturday night as well. And so loads of our students go to that. It's a very safe way of getting that sort of fun university experience because you're surrounded by people your age at your university, and it's only university students that can access tickets and access the event. But also sort of give me the opportunity to have a sort of London nightlife as well. So it's good fun. We also have Team Greenwich, so that's where you access sports. So there's a load of ways to stay active and social. So whether it is just competing against your peers at a social level and just having fun, or sort of you want to compete against other universities, our clubs are a great way to participate in sports and meet new friends. So there is what's called the Bucks League. That's a sort of British Universities League, and Greenwich are a member of that. So our different sports teams will be competing against universities all up against country. But we're also in just the London Universities League as well. So the benefit of that is that there's just a ton of different ways of getting involved. We have teams in a ton of sports, from American football, cheerleading, taekwondo, cricket, and they're all at different levels as well. So there's always a way you will be able to get involved. Also, if you play a sport that for some reason there's not a team for yet, you can always set up your own teams. The university is really encouraging of that. We want to play as many sports as possible. So as long as you can sort of guarantee that you'll be able to field a team, you can set up the teams yourself. And final thing, I won't mention it too long because I have sort of spoken about it already. But yeah, sightseeing, trips around the UK and Europe. I mean, London is a fantastic city and it is the capital city, and there's everything you can need to do there. But also just around the UK as well, there are so many beautiful, historically fascinating cities to visit and enjoy. So making the most of your time in the UK is something I would definitely recommend. And as I said as well, wider Europe too. London is very well connected. So yeah, just making sure that you make the most of that would be something that I would definitely recommend. I didn't want to go on too long, so I've got time now for any questions. Otherwise, I will be hanging around.
Thank you, Adam, for a session. Yeah, we have a couple of questions from students. So the first one is, I'm from Canada. How do I know if your veterinarian diploma is acknowledged in Canada?
So that'll be on the website as well. So if you go onto the course page, there'll be a load of accreditations there that will be describing how it is acknowledged. Our courses, which are accredited, are all accredited by international bodies. So normally you'll find that your degrees you get in the UK are very adaptable to the wider world as well. You can also get in touch with members from the faculty too. To be completely honest, I'm not a vet, so the best people to speak to are the sort of the links on the course page, and they'll be able to give you sort of all of the advice that you will need. So I'd recommend getting in touch with them there. Alternatively as well, just send me an email, send me a message, and I can always get in touch with academics too and get the full load of information for you.
Yeah, okay, thanks. That's helpful. And there is a second question. Do you offer work placements as a part of the course or after the graduation? And can you list some companies you work with?
Yeah, so we have what was called the sandwich year. So that's part of most of our courses. I think all of our courses have the sandwich year work placement. So that's when you would do a work placement as part of your third year, and it is part of your course. We've had students that work at, we've got Charlton Football Club. We have students working at Barclays, Goldman Sachs, Adobe. I mean, we have students kind of working in government as well, local and central government. I think there's a really wide variety, and it does depend on which course you're studying. So the work placements are part of your course. After graduation, then we do have a lot of support to help you get placements. It is kind of up to you. But this is where things like the careers fairs come into sort of great use. So yeah, we have two a term where you will be in sort of a big hall. There'll be representatives from all of our sort of partners and other industries from London there, and you can chat to them about different opportunities that they might have for when you've graduated. It's something that we're really passionate about. Again, I would say onto the course pages, and you can see testimonials, you can see careers outcomes where people have ended up and the kind of jobs you can get off the back of your degree. So yeah, having a look at that as well, I would recommend.
Okay, thank you. And there's I believe this is the last question. Oh no, that's the last one. Okay, so this next question is, what are the requirements to get scholarship, like specific scholarship you mentioned, I believe?
Yeah, okay. So the international scholarship award, it's merit based, but there are no requirements. So you just have to write a short statement about why you think you are deserving of a scholarship, and then it will be done based on that. So yeah, it's just a short piece of writing is what we need. I just really recommend applying for them. We have a lot of money that we want to use to help students come to Greenwich, and we know that it can be difficult. So yeah, it's not there's no sort of like grade requirements or anything like that. It's just about sort of what you're going to bring to the university, what you're going to bring to the course, what kind of experiences you've already had, or how you can demonstrate genuine interest in your subject, and that will be how they'll decide if they want to sort of support you with your studies a bit more.
Okay, thanks. And the last question is, Do you have any online degree programs?
No, so at the moment we are just sort of working on campus. Yeah, we found that it's just been a bit more successful when students are sort of on campus. So yeah, we don't have online ones at the minute.
Okay. Thanks very much for the session and everyone who attended. We might probably wait a bit, if you have any other questions, feel free to write them down. Otherwise, feel free to visit the exhibitor booth or drop a message to the speaker directly using the Spot Me chat. And yeah, so Adam, would you like to wait for a couple of minutes so we can probably get more questions?
Yeah, I'll hang on for a few more minutes if there are anything else. But yeah, otherwise, feel free to drop me one after. And thank you very much for coming along and listening. And yeah, I'm always happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, perfect.
The other thing to mention as well is that we do offer like one-to-one sessions as well. So if you did want to go through any part of the application or wanted to ask any specific questions that you didn't want maybe to discuss like in a public space, you can always just drop me an email when we do video calls too. So yeah, there's lots of support for you.
Yep. I just sent a link to the University of Greenwich booth. So whoever is attending now, if you have any further questions or more specific ones, you can address Adam. Other than that, thank you everyone for coming and joining us. And thank you very much, Adam.
Thank you for having me, and yeah, thanks for helping out and coming along.
Thank you. So bye.
Bye.